In this episode, we're going to explore the technology shaping enterprise strategy. Today, we're joined by Panzura to unpack how organizations are rethinking global file services, cyber resilience, and hybrid cloud at scale. From real-time threat detection to immutable data and distributed collaboration, this is a conversation for every IT leader navigating modern data risk. Now, let's get into the conversation.
Welcome to another episode of Smarter Strategic Thinking. Today we have Sundar from Panzura. Thank you very much.
Nice to meet you, Ray.
Do you want to explain your role in Panzura and what you do and what's keeping you busy right now?
I've been with Panzura for more than 2.5 years now, coming around the third year mark here. Joined as the CTO, focusing on the portfolio strategy, looking at where the market is, the products we have built, where the gaps are, and how we can evolve the products to go address the customer pain points. Right now, the focus, we have done well in the last couple of years. We made acquisition. We bought new product to the markets. Right now, as we are looking into 2026 and beyond, a lot of the focus right now is improving the operational efficiency of what we do with our hybrid cloud file services platform, and then how we can add further data management capability on top of it. A lot of this revolves around cyber resiliency, data security, data access, governance, compliance, a lot of those areas which continue to be a pain point for the customers who want to be able to solve it with our current platform. And with a lot of the new technology coming around on the agentic AI side, we have the opportunity to do something super interesting for our customers.
How did you get into the world of IT? Was it by crook or by hook?
I have a computer science major. My area of specialization was distributed systems, right from my undergraduate as well as my postgraduate degree. So I always like to solve complex problems. The data silos, data governance, data compliance always been a super interesting area for me. So it's natural that in my career has evolved in the last few decades, nicely evolved into some of the challenges that are facing the data infrastructure area.
To our viewers, would you like to explain what Panzura do in a nutshell?
Yeah, Panzura delivers the most advanced hybrid cloud file and data services platform that's purpose-built for security, high performance, and all the data management within that. That's our identity in the market. Been solving this problem for more than 10 plus years. And with the developments that we see in the cloud and a lot of the work around the AI and the challenges the customers are facing, I think there is some interesting ability to evolve the platform in the next few years to further advance our journey here.
Could you explain to the viewers what products that you provide can help alleviate a cyber attack?
We have the real-time anomaly detection based on machine learning algorithm. That actually gives, helps the customers to detect any kind of malicious attack quickly. But that's part of the story. The platform itself was built on immutability. That gives an ability for you to restore to different versions when there is any kind of a malicious attack. We provide all the audit alerting and tracking of all the audit logs. Those three combined provides you the story that's needed for any kind of a cyber resiliency. Right? Immutability for previous versions and ability for you to recover, real-time anomaly detection through the machine learning algorithm, and then ability for us to keep track of all the audit logs and audit for compliance as well as for security purposes.
So your software tracks hotspots within certain users. For example, a marketing guy shouldn't have access to a financial services part of the business.
The way we do that is there are two aspects of it. One is what they have access to, and the second one is what they are accessing, right? We keep track of all the accesses that are happening in a file system. So we know what each user typically does. We form a profile against that user in an enterprise. When the user does something different from what he's supposed to be doing or out of the normal, we catch those scenarios usually in seconds or minutes, provide appropriate alerting, and based on the configuration, we can take some preventive action as well. This helps contain the blast radius if a malicious attack is happening. So this is on the access side. On the governance, you want to head proactively. We have anomaly detection from the governance perspective, where we can actually scan through the permissions in a file system, identify any possible anomalies. Some may be part of the enterprise that they want to do. Some may be something a mischievous user has done something where they have changed the permission of a folder. So they have access to certain things that they shouldn't be having access. So we can identify those kind of threats and then bring it to the dashboard. The customer can use that reactively to address those at that time. That's pretty much closing the gate so that the attacks don't happen. The first part of it is making sure that attacks don't happen. Second is, irrespective of whatever we do, it's a layered defense. Irrespective of whatever you do, there is always vulnerabilities that someone could come in scenarios like that. You still have an ability to get the early detection, and using our immutability, now you have the ability to roll back to handle these kind of scenarios.
And you also have complete reporting and for governance and discovery, and you can find out what happened 3 months ago on someone. Is that right?
Absolutely. So we keep track of all the audit logs, depending on what the customers want. With the long-term retention, we keep track of all that. We provide searchability on it. Anytime the customer wants to know what happened a few months ago, they have an ability to go back and look at what exactly happened on a particular day, particular time by a particular user. What kind of file operations were done, what kind of versions or what kind of files were touched. You have all that information. So it's not just ransomware, it could be data exfiltration or any other kind of attacks as well. So you could be not just changing files, it could be reading files, copying the files to a USB stick, for example. All that, the record is all kept in the back end. Also, because of our immutability, we are keeping track of all the changes that are happening in the file system as well. So you have not only the audit log, access log that tells you what happened, but you also have an ability to go back and possibly address it as well, right? All that stuff is part of the platform itself. And then there is a nice reporting around it. You have all the tools for searchability, and you can export this data to PDF, CSVs. We also have a pretty good, as we have worked with a lot of customers that have gone through some of these potential attacks, we also developed a lot of tools underneath it to provide more visibility, more and more visibility, and then helps you recover from these scenarios quickly.
We've worked with you in bringing out a distributed file solution that allows organisations to share files between head office and remote office. Can you explain how this works and the unique features it provides?
Yeah, solution allows remote and branch offices to collaborate on the same set of files, shares, file system, as if they are local, right? With zero latency and full version control enabled through global locking. This enables the user, they don't have to make a local copy of the data. You don't have to have local filers, which typically ends up creating data silos, which is always the biggest challenge when you have multiple versions of the data floating around. You can all work on the same set of data. Remote offices, pretty much, it becomes an extension. They work on the same set of files. We have caching technology that makes sure that the performance for the remote offices is same as what you'll have in the main office as well. That's making sure that the files seamlessly move around. From the users, they don't have to see all the complexity of how we handle things. It's the simplicity that we bring to them. We handle the complexity in the back. So that's very unique in what we have done in terms of the hybrid cloud file services. The users could be remote office, branch office. They could be in the cloud or different clouds. Wherever the users are, we provide a seamless way to access the data.
Can be either bi-directional, so you could have an office in London and an office in Edinburgh and an office in Cardiff, but the Cardiff office can't send files back, but the Edinburgh office can. So it's bi-directional, isn't it?
Absolutely. Bi-directional. Your case was the one you explained was a lot more simpler. Of course, is between London and Edinburgh, but we have customers that have 100 sites around the world. So you're different continents, different countries where the data seamlessly is moving around. And some file that gets accessed in Mexico, it gets pulled in Asia, for example, and then further it moves from Asia to, let's say, Europe. We are one of the largest financial services company in the world, leveraging our platform where the stock transactions between London, New York, and Tokyo seamlessly move around because these markets obviously are different times of the day, different days of the week. The stock transactions move around seamlessly. For their users, irrespective of wherever they are, they get to access the latest data about the stock transactions, what is happening in the market, and provide you a very seamless way to access those.
How do you see data management changing in the next few years?
One of the biggest challenges we are seeing, which is a good thing, it's a positive thing for sure, we are moving from a passive storage where you just store the data, obviously provide the data protection on top of it, to more intelligent data services, right? And a lot of it is enabled through AI and the agentic AI initiatives, where data that is policy aware, they are instantly accessible, they are capable of triggering automated actions, right? Based on what we have seen. I think this will change the way the data is stored, data is accessed, data is protected. I think the data is becoming super active compared to what it used to be.
Everyone's talking about AI. It's the biggest buzzword in the industry at the moment, as you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What is the real impact on how we store data and move data? Because no one actually talks about storing that AI data.
Any product, I know this is a little bit of a controversial statement, but I will make that anyway. Any product that's built probably 4 or 5 years ago is obsolete now in terms of the data management. I think AI is evolving the story significantly in terms of how the enterprises are storing data, accessing data, leveraging the data for all the business outcomes. It's absolutely, there is a buzzword around AI, but there is so much initiatives that we are seeing in the enterprises to leverage AI to improve the business efficiency. IT is no longer a cost center. They want to participate in the decision making, which is critical right now. AI is definitely helping optimize the storage tiers, anomaly detection, cyber resiliency, compliance and sovereignty, data sovereignty, even predicting the usage patterns. A lot of that stuff that it's early stages, obviously, what we are seeing with respect to the availability of these infrastructure. We are seeing a lot of the large customers putting together initiatives that will shape how the data is stored and moved and accessed in the next few years, for sure.
What's the biggest challenge you see customers facing when it comes to multi-cloud and hybrid cloud in terms of their data and where it sits from a sovereignty point of view and where it resides?
The biggest challenge, as you know, is the data fragmentation, right? People just keep multiple copies of the data, different versions of the data, and the amount of data that's duplicated, it's crazy when you go into any of these enterprises, right? And so the challenge is, it's not just the cost associated with duplicating data, but it is just the operational nightmare that is associated with multiple versions and managing these versions and making sure that this right versions have the right access and all that. The complexity around it. That is the biggest challenge that Panzura's hybrid cloud file services platform is trying to solve. Enable the users to work on the same set of data, don't make copies, let the files move around wherever the users want to access the data seamlessly. Multiple clouds, it could be edge, it could be on-prem and cloud, it could be, we're seeing applications typically run on the cloud, compute clusters and stuff like that. Users are still very much in the edge. We see some scenarios where users go into VDI and they are trying to access the data from the VDI as well. So it's very difficult for IT to go and plan so many things ahead of time. When they adopt a new platform, they're expecting the platform to evolve with them and address wherever the users are or whatever the applications are. They want to make sure the data is available everywhere. And that is a huge challenge. Because today, when they make decisions today on and whether it's multi-cloud, hybrid cloud, if they don't pick a platform like ours, the challenge associated with solving this is using silos, right? They copy the data in different places. There are various platforms that do that, and usually that when they make that decision, they very soon regret it, and they figure out that they need to change it, and then immediately another storage buying cycle starts, right? And which is the buyer's remorse immediately starts. We want to make sure that we provide that flexibility where the users are wherever they are today, they could be different tomorrow. We give you the tools. We want to make sure the platform evolves with the customer.
What does data resiliency mean to you? You know, we all understand that beyond backup and recovery, but for me, I feel personally that companies don't archive enough data. Because the statistic is, 80% of data is never accessed after 5 years? Well, after 12 months, typically, isn't it?
Yeah. Backup in general is very reactive because you are able to detect from threats need not be real time in the backup world. For us, we want to make sure that you can detect, withstand, and recover from threats in real time or near real time. That's the biggest challenge. Resiliency has to be proactive. We have three different ways to make sure that the data is resilient. One is immutability, then intelligent monitoring, making sure that I can provide you all the tools to detect any kind of threats as quickly as we can, and then rapid recovery, because attacks will still happen. We understand that. It's a layered defense strategy, but we want to provide you all the tools to recover out of it. So resiliency for me is overall encompassing the backup aspect of it. That's only one part of the problem. It's a complete resiliency strategy that we are trying to provide to the enterprises.
How should businesses think about ransomware protection in 2026? It says 2025 here, but we're a month away.
Absolutely, we are near the end.
One of the things I heard last night is where the ransomware attacks are using AI within their software.
Absolutely.
So in an instant, they can evolve and change their pattern to carry on attacking an organization or a business.
Previous algorithms are usually, if you look at the ransomware defenses the backup vendors provide, they're all based on entropy. They look at how the file is changing. And those things are, those efforts are usually complicated by the AI, for sure. Because as you mentioned rightly, usage pattern keeps changing. Whatever your algorithm is, at the end of the day, someone has written a better algorithm to do certain things, which your algorithm may not be able to track. So it's like a race between those two. We are coming from a higher level strategy. We want to detect any kind of odd behavior. Anything that's not good is flagged, right? Instead of looking for a bad behavior or bad kind of access, we are looking for anything that is not a good behavior. Anytime you are trending away from a standard deviation, we're going to raise alerts. That's the easiest way for us to make sure that we can somewhat stay ahead of a lot of these AI-based strategies out there, for sure. And we have been pretty successful with some of our recent customer attack scenarios where we have reacted within seconds when such an attack has evolved and shut down the set of users through which the attack may be happening. And that strategy has provided a recovery mechanism for customers, usually in minutes, without any disruption. The end users don't even know what exactly happened. That's the beauty of the solution, making sure that you have the story to detect it, you have a story to quickly recover out of it. I think providing that with the immutability, detection, and then recovery pieces, right? All these three, the layered defense, is the strategy 2026 and definitely beyond. And we are, we have a lot of learning from what we have done so far in the last 2 years, and we're evolving this further. We want to be ahead of the competition, for sure. We are also seeing that the different kinds of attacks that are evolving, we're putting all the strategy around it, behind it with the AI as well, our own AI platforms, so that we can keep up with this.
You mentioned a lot about immutability. Is this the new must-have, or is it just a piece of the puzzle?
It's foundational, but it's not the whole story. Because immutability protects the data integrity, for sure. But you also need the intelligent monitoring, access controls, automated recovery. You need other pieces as well. Because you have the immutability, you have the previous versions of the data. That's all good. But when an attack happens, how quickly can react to it? Because the blast radius within seconds or minutes could be huge. We are talking about millions of files that could be impacted within minutes. And so it is foundational. That doesn't tell the whole story, but it's definitely a key part of the story.
How do partners like Fortuna help bring Panzura's tech to life for customers? What can we do collaboratively for the viewers out there so they can actually see this?
Yeah, partners like Fortuna are essential because at the end of the day, we are building platforms and products that will solve a customer problem. But you guys are the ones who are familiar with the customer environment and making the solution fit the specific customer needs. You guys bring deep expertise in the deployment and support, definitely accelerating time to value. So together, we think of it as not just delivering the technology, but actually solutions that solve real business problems. Right? I think that's where Fortuna is definitely essential for companies like us.
Yeah, from our point of view, we're trying to convey to the viewers of this video about organisations like yourself that develop products that aren't that well known, but they do solve real fundamental problems within a business. And that's why we value the partnership with you. And you're here today to talk to us. But real collaboration really helps. Like we've got Steve here off camera, and we're in touch quite regularly, maybe once every other week. We talk about other things other than Panzura, but that's another thing. But so we value working with you guys, and as we said, we've worked with you developing the remote robo solution, and that's coming on really well, and that's something else we can show the viewers. What's the best way for business to modernize without major disruption? How would an organization start to deploy Panzura?
I think you have to start with platforms that integrate seamlessly. I think there are a lot of point solutions out there that solve portions of the problem today, right? And working with multiple vendors, and it is always a challenge for the IT to make sure that there is a one cohesive strategy. And so our architecture is designed to overlay on existing systems so that businesses can modernize incrementally. Because it's very difficult to go from where you are today to something you want to be in one shot. It's just not possible. So it's an incremental progress there. And our products can coexist with other products, making sure that incrementally we can kind of attack a problem by problem in the same platform. That's the easiest way to make sure your end users continue to get the functionality improvements they need without any disruption.
What excites you the most about where data technology is heading next?
The rise of agentic AI, right? We are in 2025. So 2024 story was all about insights, data insights, right? AI was providing that ChatGPT, Copilot, and Google Gemini. That's part of the story. But 2025, it's all rise of agentic AI. There are so many frameworks that are available right now that helps us to build actions based on the intelligence that's in the data. So systems just don't process data, but act on it, right? That's a beautiful environment to be in, right? We're super excited about that because all the things we talked about, resiliency, classifying the data categorization, enforcing governance and compliance, even some of the remediation workflows, all these things today is possible only because of the agentic AI. So we are embracing that, absolutely. It's a shift from the mindset perspective. It's a shift from passive infrastructure to an active infrastructure, right? Active intelligence. Yeah. We still have ways to go, but for sure in 2025, that is in everybody's mind in terms of how efficiently we can use the agentic AI to solve problems. The models are out there. Those are still getting trained, and it's getting better and better. With going into 2026, you will see a lot of these products that are actually where the IT can trust them as well, that can even enforce governance and also automate some of the remedial workflows as well.
Do you ever think we'll reach storage simplicity, or will complexity always be part of the game? Because from my point of view, it's getting worse.
Yeah, well, the complexity will always be under the hood, right? Because especially in the world of unstructured data that we are in, different files, different file types, different applications, a different set of requirements from the users, the complexity is always under the hood. But the user experience need not be complex. The user experience could be as simple as, hey, I open the file, I open Explorer, I see the file, I work on the file, wherever I am, I'm in the coffee shop, I'm inside the on-prem, inside the VPN, it doesn't matter, right? The flow, the making sure that the data is always available, and all the magic that needs to be done in terms of enforcing the compliance and governance can all be done in the back without actually the users participating in complex workflows. So from our perspective, abstracting the complexity, deliver the intuitive control, and then, going forward in 2026, we want the AI to do a lot of the heavy lifting. The users it should be seamless for the users.
Moving forward, if you had a crystal ball, where do you see the biggest threats to an IT infrastructure in the next 2 years, for example, 2 to 5 years?
I think whether the IT is doing it right now or not, they have to embrace intelligent infrastructure. Right now, they think of it as data. There is storage aspect of it. There are a bunch of policies they build. There is a full-time IT staff that is working on it to enforce various things. Because the infrastructure is passive, the decisions are made by the users, or in this case, IT staff. That role will change for sure. The infrastructure is going to become intelligent. Infrastructure is going to drive a lot of these decisions. They have to embrace this, and they have to warm up to it. I think that will absolutely solve a lot of the challenges they have today, both in terms of the manageability aspect of it, which is always a challenge, but even for adapting to the future user needs. They will be foolproof. They'll be foolproof to infrastructure that they'll have. So,
if you could give one piece of advice to the IT leaders watching this now, what would it be?
Yeah, it's the same thing. Embrace intelligent infrastructure. It's coming. As much as looks kind of scary, but it is absolutely happening. The tools that are there, that are needed, are there, evolving for sure. Then some of the challenges that they are facing right now, it's going to be absolutely alleviated as the intelligent infrastructure comes into enterprise environments. So I'm looking forward to 2026 and beyond, where the adaptability of these platforms are going to be very prominent in the enterprise infrastructure. So
fantastic. Right, Sundar, thank you very much for your
Good
time,
stuff.
and look forward to
Thanks,
seeing
Ray.
you again. Thank you.
Good stuff.